Welcome back, everybody. It's a great episode of Surviving Life's Pickles this week. Another special edition of our I Love You Bro Hour. So thank you for tuning in today. We have got a great episode filled with great information and stories for everybody today. But before we jump into all that, just like we do every episode, we're going to hit our gratitude and what we're grateful for today. And I'm just going to go around the corner and go left from the dealer and have Hillary start us off today.
Boy, actually, it actually caught me off guard today. It shouldn't, because we do start every episode with gratitude, but today it's caught me off guard, I guess. Today, I am grateful for windstorms to come in and clean the air out and clean the earth. And I was just driving to the grocery store and watching the leaves and the wind coming by, and it just circles around how beautiful this earth is. And even in the storms, there's beauty. So I am grateful for this earth, the wind, and facing the storms.
Yeah. Nicole.
Actually, the first thing that came to mind was divine intervention. And I truly believe that people come into my life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And that's why I'm here. Is once we get into it, I'll explain. But how I'm here and what we're doing, I'm excited. But it all came through divine intervention.
Really did.
So I'm grateful for that.
That's
beautiful.
Great.
There's a lot of things on my plate today as far as grateful, but I kind of wanted to go off this. And this is a quote that I read earlier this week from Jim Carrey. And it really ties into what I'm truly grateful for after the end of this week. And his quote is, "You can fail at what you don't want, so you might as well take a chance on doing what you love." And I love that, especially being a little bit of an entrepreneur, running out, trying to do our own thing. This week, teaching my very first mental health first aid course up at Hill Air Force Base really solidified that never in 100 years did I ever think I was going to be doing that first. But now that I've accomplished it, now that I've taught that first class and going through it, it is what I want to do. It is something that's very passionate to me. It's something I love doing. And I'm so grateful for the journey that got me there and the opportunity that I gave myself to try something that I never thought I was going to do, because now it is what I want to do.
Yeah.
That opportunity really this week was empowering. The people in that class and the connections we had and the things I learned from them, the things they learned from me, it just felt right. And so it ties into that quote of, you know what, I felt a lot of things I didn't want to do. Now I'm doing something I want to do. If I fell at it, that's okay, because I still love doing it. Yeah. Well, everybody, again, it's the I Love You Bro Hour this month. Beautiful August, where kids are in school, fall's right around the corner. And today we're going to focus a little bit on the I Love You Sis side again. We have Nicole McGee Mary.
Thank you for welcoming me here. I'm excited.
Yeah. And we'll talk about a little bit how the project has influenced her, how she's got involved, what she's seen it done, and then this amazing event that she's put together for it coming up in September. But first, let's get to know you a little bit. Whatever you want to share, let's talk about who Nicole is.
Well, I just celebrated my 45th birthday. I like to pretend I'm not that old, but I have 4 beautiful kids and an amazing husband that supports my crazy. So I appreciate that. I currently own or run 5 businesses. So I understand the entrepreneur, understand the stress. One of the things that I did 3 years ago, 4 years, 2021, is I bought a tanning salon. And there's a little story behind that tanning salon that served a bigger purpose than most people know. At that time, I was in a really bad place. I was heavily drinking. I was coping with everything in life. My kids were getting older, and I was drinking like it was my job. Daily, all the time, to the point where I was hospitalized once, and thankful for IV places now. Shout out Hydrate IV in South Jordan. I found this opportunity. It's long story short, I knew the owner, and he turned the tanning salon over to one of his employees that happened to be my oldest daughter's friend. And she'd posted and then she'd posted she was hiring. And I said, well, my second daughter needs a job. And so September, my daughter goes in, and this was 2020, I believe, the end of COVID. Like things were kind of clearing up. People could go, getting jobs and stuff. So she hired her and she came back a couple months later and said she wants to sell the salon. I said, how much? Let's think about it. And I thought maybe this is something I could do, because what people don't really realize is, as a mom that takes care of their kids, when they get to that phase where they've moved on, they're turning into adults or they're driving to school, and you no longer feel needed. Like, I wasn't driving my kids to school anymore. They were doing their own thing, and I didn't think I was needed. I was wrong. But I thought, So I called the old owner and talked to him about it, and talked to her and made a deal with her to stay on to help me, like, learn it all and do all these things. I know way too much about tanning beds now. But I thought this could be my project that could help me get sober. And at the time, I wasn't sober yet. And my oldest daughter is very blunt. She said to me, don't do this if you're not going to get sober. You can't do it. And I thought, she's not wrong, but I need to. Because at that point, I was losing myself. I was losing my family. My husband was fed up. My kids didn't really want anything to do with me. They loved me, but they were like, they didn't want to be around. It was like, he just like kind of made sure I was okay, but kept their distance. And it was really challenging because I could see it, and I knew something deep down inside of me. I knew that deep inside me I was not who I am.
You weren't being your authentic self.
Absolutely. That's exactly it. I was like, this is not who you are. I was like out of control. And I was like I had this internal fight going on. And, I would lay there hungover or going through withdrawals or whatever, and, fighting fire with fire, just continuing to drink. And I would lay there and I'd have this battle where, like, I had this little person inside of me going, Nicole, this is not who you are. Get your shit together. And I would try and I would try and I would try. And I was like, and people were like, you need to get sober for your kids. You need to get sober for your family, your husband, all these things. And I was like, the biggest lesson I learned is you can't get sober unless you get sober for yourself.
That's right.
You understand that, And so I did the work. And I always say I was selfish so I could be selfless. I turned internal. I reclused. I did the work. I finally got a therapist that I was honest with. I finally was honest with my family. They had no idea how much I was drinking. When you talk about closet drinker, I was the ideal closet drinker. Literally had a fridge in my closet. So anyways, fast forward, I get this tanning salon, and it gave me purpose.
Yeah.
And it gave me drive. It's in West Jordan. And I knew a lot of people in the community because I was on the football board. I was on the baseball board. I was involved in dance and everything going on around there. So it was really kind of exciting. And we're building a house in Bluffdale, and I really wanted a spot in Bluffdale. But what I wanted to do, because the girls that were working for me were estheticians or going to school for it. And I was like, well, I want to create, there was a spot a couple doors down, and I talked to the landlord and I said, hey, can I turn this into a spa? It used to be an old Subway.
Yeah.
So I gutted it, turned it into a spa, and we've been, trying to build that, and kind of built that one for the wrong reasons, but it was another good project that continued to keep me motivated. And, as we're building in Bluffdale, when I say divine intervention, okay, one of my favorite spots to go to is About Time in West Jordan. Okay, know the owners. I was regular. I was like the norm that walked in, And the owner was talking to me about his franchising, and he was building new locations and whatnot. And his franchise guy had said, hey, have you thought about franchising or going other locations? And I said, well, I'd really like to find a spot in Bluffdale where I can combine what I've created. And he said, why don't you come check this place out right next to the spot we're building in? So that's how I actually found Sunkissed Salon and Spa Bluffdale.
Okay.
Is that location was through him. Dirt. I built it to what I want, and we're continuing to grow, and things are shifting, and I'm excited, but it's kept me with purpose. Fast forward. Remember how I told you my kids don't want anything to do with me? They all work for me now.
Yeah.
They work with me. My daughter, my second oldest that got me into all of this, actually helps manage. My other daughter works with me. We are so divinely connected that I'm blessed every day.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how that just all falls into place for the right reasons when you decide to actually make that choice.
Yeah,
When you give up your free will to God and to your
absolutely.
higher power and just help me.
Yeah.
Then those things will just show up, which is great.
And it's hard because 90% of us or more are stubborn and we don't want to ask for help. And I felt like sometimes I would ask for help and I felt like I was crying for help for the most part, but I wasn't crying for help in the right ways of actually saying, I need help. But I knew that nobody could help me but me,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. I needed to really dig deep and go there.
You had to
So
you had to accept the help.
absolutely. And even willing to help my own self. To be honest, I didn't love myself anymore. And I was like, that's pretty sad. I got a lot to live for. I have a beautiful family. I have all these things, you know, you look at the whole big picture and you're like, you have all these things going for you. And I was very high functioning alcoholic. So I was getting things done, still doing the things. But then I had this demon that was fighting me. And I was like, I gotta fight. And I have to fight a little bit of it alone. But as I fought alone, everybody helped come in and helped me. And your stories changed my life. Her stories changed my life. I love to see people pull themselves out because it's doable. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
Absolutely.
I mean, it is one of the hardest things that you'll ever go through. But once you decide that it is the right thing and it's what you need to do and you want to be here, then it becomes easier.
Right. And I agree with you. I had to do it my way.
Yeah.
Because people were like, let's take you here. Let's do this. I had to do it my way and I found my way.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and the divine intervention really has a key factor to how the three of us are sitting here today.
absolutely.
Because if I remember right, you found Joe the same way I did
Through the podcast, Jess and
through
Frankie.
Frankie and Jess.
Yeah. So Jessica is actually a really good friend of mine. I knew her just obviously on the radio. And then she is a sales director with Mary Kay. We were sister sales directors together. And so we've partied, gone to Texas and other places together. And I just love her. She is just a beacon of a beautiful human being. And I love how real she is. And I've always caught on to that. And I love that they're doing a podcast now. And so immediately when they released their podcast, I was like, yes, I get my Frankie and Jess without music interruptions. I'm so
Exactly.
excited.
All of us were jumping up and down at that point.
Absolutely.
And I didn't listen to all of the vaulted ones, and I was listening kind of the new ones, and Joe's podcast came up and it caught my eye. And so I listened to it. And because I've learned to follow my intuition, and that's a different story. And when I don't follow my intuition, shit hits the fan. So I follow my intuition. My intuition said, Nicole, you need to reach out to Joe. And I immediately looked him up. I messaged him and I said, I need to know how I can help this organization. And I said, I don't know why or how. I said, I have a husband that, I've talked to him about like the things that you guys talk about. And I'm like, if you ever need a support group, and he's got a really good level head on him. He actually keeps my head on straight. So, but I have 2 boys.
Yeah.
And I struggle in this world, and I'll be real, like when I was in the depths of my drinking, I thought about it and I was like, Nicole, do you want to die this way? I didn't. And I was like, you're not living. So get it together. And, so his story really touched my heart because that was something that I was like, that was a man that followed his intuition. He knew he had to turn around and I knew that I needed to be a part of it. And so we got talking about different things. And I said, well, I built my tanning salon and my big spa in Bluffdale, not in a high traffic area. We're not by a Walmart, not by a Voss or EOS or anything that's got a lot of foot traffic, right? We're back. We're trying to be found. And I said, well, why don't we kill 2 birds with 1 stone? I want to bring people in my door. Why don't we have a car show? Let's throw a party. So last year, in about 20 days, we threw together a car show with the I Love You Bro project. All the funds went to them. We brought in probably 30 cars, trucks, I think.
Somewhere around there.
And mind you, we planned it in 20 days.
Right.
Wow.
In the middle of car show season.
And middle of car show season, I knew I was competing with the Midvale car show. I knew, like, I had looked it up, and then, and I joked with Joe. I was like, I'm kind of being selfish. I just really want to bring people to my parking lot. So we raised over $3,000. It was beautiful for what we did, like for what we threw together in no time. Now this year I'm on a mission to make it bigger and better. And it's not really about, it is, yeah, of course I want to bring people into my business. I want people to just find me. But what it really is, as I have continued to work with the I Love You Bro project, listening to your story the first time at Karu, and like now hearing your story and hearing these men's stories, I am like, this is amazing. I was brought up in that, suck it up, keep going.
Yeah.
There's abuse in my past. There's a lot of things that I want men to know it's okay to feel. And it's okay to move through the emotions. It's okay to want to fight, scream, and shout when you're trying to provide for your family. It's okay for you to move through these things, and it's okay for you to be vulnerable. Once I got vulnerable myself, because I'm a very dominant personality, ask my poor family. And, and I see that role. I'm very much like my father. I'm very much like some of my very dominant male friends. And I see them, and I was like, more men need to know that it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with that, I mean, you being a part of this is a big push now with the project, is getting the women in their lives involved, because it is really them who help us behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the support of the women in your life, and it doesn't matter if it's a spouse, it's a friend, girlfriend, mom, daughter, sister, whoever, they're going to be there for you, but they've got to know. And the fact that you've stepped up, and like you said, your husband's pretty strong, but you're setting an example for your boys now of what is out there, what's available, and what's possible, just by you helping is
it
amazing.
changes the conversation.
It does.
I'll be honest. And that's one of the things when people say, how are you doing? Or how did things get better? I'll be real with you. Honesty. Stop lying. Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to your family. Be honest with what you're dealing with. Be honest with what you're feeling. There are people in my life that have demons in their head that they are battling daily, and it has nothing to do with alcohol or drugs. It has nothing to do with anything else. And there's a real mental health issue out there. And if we can just dive in and figure out what's triggering it, what's triggering you, what is this, what is that, and to be open and honest. I think the more honest, that's really what opened the door and the floodgates for me. Was I was honest. I finally confessed how much I was drinking. I confessed the things that like I was struggling with, and was real with myself, with my therapist, with my husband. Was it hard? Yes. Was it hard on him? Yes. Did it tear us apart? It actually brought us closer. And I feel like when you can get into a space with somebody, and I notice this with women, more women have a lot of things in common that we don't want to talk about, like abuse. Guess what?
Men do too.
Exactly. Men have those things in there, and they're ashamed of it. And women are ashamed. We're all human. And we have to learn to forgive those that have hurt us, right? So you are not what somebody else has done to you. That I feel strongly about that. I am not. Statistically, I should be in prison. Let's get real. Just from what I've learned. But like, just from my past. But it's one of those things where it's like, we are not what happened to us. And there is change that can be made. You can get up one day and say, I don't want to live this way, and change it. Because there's so much opportunity out there. And it does sometimes require walking away from people that are toxic to you. Sometimes you're the toxic one. I finally was like, oh, wow, I'm the toxic one sometimes. Like, and I want to be a part of this group. And I wish I kind of getting that like urge. Like, I wish there was more for women, but just women that come into my life. I'm like, let's talk. Because sometimes we don't have the space to talk. Sometimes we don't have that person to talk to. Sometimes we can't afford therapy. And I absolutely I met with Joe. I love that man. He is such a good man. He's definitely like my big brother. I love him. I think I'm older than him though. Anyways, but we sat down to meet for the car show. And he listened to me for 45 minutes. That meeting was part of the divine intervention that I needed that week. I needed him. We need each other. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of shit going on in this world. We need each other, and we need to be okay with being a little vulnerable and a little strong. And I think that when we can get real and honest, if a man can open us up to his spouse or his girlfriend, his sister's mom, or a friend and say, hey, look, I'm struggling with this. He's taking his power back
Yeah.
because he's owning it. Take your power back, damn it. Like I feel like that for men and women. And I think it's incredible when we do, but there's too many out there that don't. We recently lost somebody in our industry last week. And I immediately text Joe. I was like, what do I do? How do we help these families? Because I don't want taking your own life to be the option. But I understand sometimes. So how can I help? I immediately said, how do we help him? How do we help his family that's going through this? And I'm grateful, like talking to him about your guys' organization and it growing and the numbers. And oh my gosh, like he's like, we've got this many meetings. Now they're open in Tooele. Like what you guys are doing is an incredible movement. And I want to scream it from the rooftop because if a man is healthy with himself, he's going to be healthy with his family.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be healthy with others. He's going to be healthy at work. He's going to show up and he's going to show up as his best self.
Well, it gives, I mean, just in the weekly support groups, those men that are coming, it gives them the opportunity to be themselves, but then be themselves for others who need it. And it's super powerful, the connections that this group is bringing together. I mean, some of my good friends now, you would have never, ever thought I would be friends with these guys. Like we come from completely different backgrounds, cultures, works of life, everything. But we have become really good friends.
Oh, yeah.
And we're building something bigger. The one thing, the short little story about this week was amazing. I have a good friend. We become, I mean, he's one of my best friends now. We met through work. And he knows we do the groups. He's coming to our retreat with everybody. He hasn't had a lot of time, but he's going through a lot. And I get a phone call Tuesday afternoon from the prison. And he's on the other line. But the fact that he and I have built that relationship and be able to have these open conversations with each other and that trust, he knew that he could call me and I'd understand and I'd be able to find a way to help him. And it was an amazing experience that I got. I'm grateful that I was able to help him in the situation. We've talked. He's doing fantastic. I mean, overall, it was a very big misunderstanding. But again, we all get in those pickles during our life. And that would not have been me without the I Love You Bro project.
That's incredible.
The things that has taught me just as going, but the things that have taught me from being a group leader, that we have to be there for these guys. They might not have that other person. It's a big responsibility, but it's an honor to be part of it. And I think this is one of the most impactful things that I see the project doing from my eyes is these relationships. Because not only do I have it, but he's built that relationship with Hillary as well.
Right. I agree with that. And I'm big on being authentically you. You know, they say God created us equal. I don't believe it. God created us to be uniquely ourselves.
Yeah.
To be imperfectly perfect, to be who we are. None of us look the same. None of us came up the same. Even my 4 kids look completely different. They were all raised in the same house with completely different personalities. So we may not be the same, but we have opportunity. And being that connection, that's powerful. And that's what I want to do because at the end of the day, things are things. People are treasures. Right? So like I value friendships and relationships over anything else in this world. And I want to continue to build relationships. Everybody that steps into my tanning salon. I saw a lady today that was my first tanner there. And she came in and she's like, I'm so excited to see you. I never get to see you because I don't work as often as I should. But it was so good to catch up with her. We do life with our clients. We do life with our people. And I think that is so empowering that you were that lifeline call. That speaks volumes for the work you guys are doing. And when you give people that opportunity to know, hey, you can trust me without judgment. That I don't want to be judged. I'm judging my damn self already. I don't need you to beat me up. I'm beating myself up already. You know, and it's one of those things where we are our own worst critics. So why not we push that aside? Be compassionate for each other. Show that compassion. And you know what? He he without sin throw the first stone or whatever, right? Like, you can pretend you're perfect, but I know better. And it's okay because I accept you for you. And if you want to do better, like change. People say people can't change. If that's true, then I wouldn't be here right now.
Very true. And I think, I mean, a lot of those things you said, I have heard Hillary bring home from some of the I Love You Sis workshops. I want to
Keep
dive.
planning them on Tuesdays and I can't go on Tuesday. No, fix it.
Just a little shout out to Joe. Fix it. Girls can't go on Tuesdays. But how have the I Love You Sis workshops helped you? And what have you seen the impact just from attending and seeing what's happening with the women who are attending?
I thought it was awesome. So Joe had told me about how he was going to roll out the I Love You Sis. And I was like, okay. And I thought at first it was going to be like the I Love You Bro kind of sister support group, like for women kind of thing. And that's what my original thought was when he said he was going to roll it out. And then he said, no, it's going to be, from my understanding and what I kind of learned, I've been to, I think, 1 or 2 workshops at this point. Again, they're on Tuesdays. But he was like, I want to help women be able to communicate with their men in their life and be able to open up and be vulnerable and allow their men to be vulnerable and to be and help protect them and to watch for signs and to do those things. Because from my understanding, most men, there's not a lot of signs. There are signs, but they're going to hide those signs. And especially if there's a lot of shame and guilt in what they're doing, they're going to hide it because women do it too. And so when we rolled it out, and like one of the first workshops I went to and talking to Emily at Koru, I'm very impressed with how he has implemented that, because how can we support our men better? What better way than anything in the world than to better relationships? I am tired of watching my friends get divorced over things I think they can fix. I thank God every day that my husband has not given up on me and I have not given up on him. And because of that honesty and that communication and things that I've learned in the I Love You Bro and learned from Joe and being surrounded by these things, it gives me that opportunity to actually go in and have those conversations with my spouse. We can like have that vulnerable conversation and be open and honest with each other. And I think that's what I love about the I Love You Sis program is it's not just about it it's about really like, how can we support our men better? You know, like sometimes my son can be angry and I can say, let's talk about what's really wrong, versus we're barking at each other and fighting and one's storming off, one's slamming a door, whatever. Like, it's okay to talk. It's also okay to just sit. It's okay to just be present. It's okay. Just like you and your friend calling you. He knows you're there. And that's what we want to be as the women. We want to support that. But everything that you guys are teaching in I Love You Bro and in the I Love You Sis is helping all of us as a whole, because not everything, you know, what we learn in the I Love You Sis and how we can support the men in our lives and help communicate and look for these things and do all these things, we can take that into our lives with everyone. And that's why it makes it bigger and better.
It gives us that connectivity.
Absolutely.
And the thing you hit on is the communication. From what I've heard from everybody that has attended the I Love You Sis workshops and the I Love You Bro workshops, specifically those two, is the communication factor on how to communicate better with yourself, how to communicate better with your support team, how to communicate better with a perfect stranger, and just open that line of communication and understand a little bit better of what they might be thinking, what they might be going through, so you have that empathy.
That communication also brings connection with it too.
Oh, absolutely. You never know. It's funny because I keep going back to like being a child in the 80s, right? We're told not to talk to strangers, told not to, not to go off with strangers, or we're told to suck it up and keep it real, or get over it, or, we're disciplined in a way where we can't actually talk about what's bothering us. I know, like when my mom and I get in a fight, we'd separate. And rather than like, let's actually sit down and have a conversation. And I'm not my father. I'm not my father and my grandparents. We're in a different generation now, that where we can tap into our godlike energy. We can tap into our higher power that can say, you know what, I can do better. And damn it, I'm going to. And what does better look like for you? could be anything for anybody. I always struggled for the longest time with the definition of success. And I thought, is success just money? Big house, cars, all those things? And I've had a lot of people kind of bring me down to earth and say, no matter where you're at in that financial, where are you at with your relationships? Where are you at with your people? I have some of the best relationships with humans because I've just smiled and said, hey, how are you? Or, hey, my name is Nicole. Like I love meeting people. It's almost insanely crazy, but I just ran around businesses in Bluffdale. I was like, gonna suck it up and bring back that Mary Kay warm chattering and I'm gonna go out there. And I went and handed out flyers. I met some amazing people. I actually got some crazy cool connections. They're excited. We already have one sponsor text me the next day because I went into that business and I said, here I am. I'm inviting you to a party. We're having a car show. You're my neighbor. I'd like you to come. What more connection are we going to have? What more could this bring? And and a lot of them are men.
Yeah.
And I thought, and I explained what the I Love You Bro project was to every one of them. I said, I'm doing this for the I Love You Bro Foundation. It is a men's mental health foundation that supports men. And September is Suicide Awareness and Prevention Month. And we do it in September for that reason, because we want to know, just like I was talking to Hillary about women wanting to be heard and seen, here's a secret. Men want to be heard and seen. And I get that.
Yeah. So I want to ask, as you're going around, you're a woman going around and promoting this men's mental health fundraiser. How were you received? Because it's definitely going to be different than when I go out and promote it. So I'm interested to hear the feedback and how the guys that you were meeting talking about this received you and how they responded.
I paid attention to the looks on their face, and the women were like, wow, this is cool. And the men actually received it really well. I mean, it does help. I am a female, but but and maybe it's more helpful that I am a female going out saying, hey, I'm out here to support you.
Yeah.
As a male. Like, if anything, I want to bring awareness to it, because then they might be like, men's mental health. I love you, bro. What is this? And they might Google it. If that brings just one other person into the fold of, there is support out there. There's groups out there where a man can go in. And I love that you guys allow any person walk in and let their guard down. Guess what, fellas? It's okay to let your guard down.
Yeah.
And I say that with all the love in my heart, because I have big, tough boys. They're both taller than me, stronger than me, trying to be that bold son. And they are protectors and they love me. And I have conversations with them where I'm like, it's okay to feel. It doesn't make you any less manly. It doesn't make you any less of a human.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's actually pretty awesome when a man can be a little bit vulnerable, because then I can help build him up.
Well, I mean,
But they're doing good. Like, it's been fun to actually run around those businesses. I've made some
and enjoy it.
cool
Yeah. You going around talking about your boys being that manly man. It really comes down to the more emotions and the more vulnerable you are. Really, that's the bigger man who's able to share that, who's able to do that.
Yeah.
And I think you connect on a different level. I think it was Frankie and Jess. I think Frankie brought up they were talking about emotions, that when we only have so many emotions, you only feel it for like 30 seconds. It's how you carry it. And when you say you get cut off at 6 a.m., if you carry that all day long, you're just carrying it. Why the hell are you carrying it? Drop it, let it go. And that's one of the things, that there's some things we just have to let it roll off our shoulders. Does it really matter that much? And some things are obviously more intense and more effective, affecting our lives. But I learned in my journey is this worth getting mad over? Is this worth raising my heart rate over? Is this worth ruining a relationship over? Does this really matter that much right now? Will it matter in a month? This argument, there's times my husband and I have gotten in an argument, and I'll look at him and I'll say, you know what? This isn't really why we're mad, first of all. And second of all, this conversation's stupid, because we're not going to be mad about this tomorrow. So let's just stop. And we'll laugh about it, because we both know that sometimes we're fighting over the smoke and not the fire.
Well, I'm going to throw it out there, and you know where I'm
No, I
going with
know
this.
exactly where you're going with this.
It's not about the butter. Do you remember that Frankie and Jess episode?
Yeah.
It's not about the butter.
Yeah.
And we use that all the time.
All the time.
That is kind of our safe fight word here in the house.
Yeah, I love it.
Is it really about the butter, or is it something else? And you have to be okay to sit with it for a second and think about it. Oh, you know, it's really not about this.
Yeah.
This is stupid.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, and you guys know, you guys are now working together. Some things can heat up about how one wants to do it, how you want to set up the room, where you want to put the pin, whatever it is. Just moved into a new house. Where are we going to put the couch, right? Whatever. And my husband and I have worked for 25 years together. We've been married for a little over 25. We started his flooring business, and we've worked together for 25 years. And we would get in arguments. And I finally, and this was during my healing process, I finally sat back and went, are you mad at me, or are you mad about this? And he goes, I'm mad about this. And I said, well, you're taking it out on me. I'm taking it out on you. We're both mad about the same thing. So let's just focus on that thing that we're mad at and stop taking it out on each other.
Yeah.
It's communication. It all comes back to community. Stop being afraid to communicate.
Well, and it's that perception. The communication and the perception are the two biggest things.
Absolutely.
You've got to
Agreed.
turn it around. We had that in this week's meeting that I held this week in Pleasant Grove, is we talked about perception. We had a father and son there, both seeing a situation differently.
Oh,
and totally
yeah.
able to talk there as a group, and they understood.
Yeah.
And we all take that time. And again, that's some of the wonderful things that I see through the project, the workshops, the groups, is being able to teach people skills.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a professor. I'm not anything, but I am a professional human with a lot of damn experience.
Same. I'm right there with you. No degrees here, but I went to the school of hard knocks. That's
Exactly.
what I say.
And the fact that we get to sit down in these groups and share it is just an amazing feeling. There is nothing else like the I Love You Bro project.
Oh, nothing. I'm astonished every time I see things. I'm seeing the number of groups that are going up. I'm listening to your podcast and hearing these men's stories. Honestly, I recently was asked to do a sound bath at a corrections facility.
Wow.
And a friend of mine runs one downtown, and they are literally straight out of prison. And I knew nothing about these men. And you better believe I brought up the I Love You Bro project. But I went in knowing nothing about these men, and we ended up with about 30 men that showed up. These hardcore criminals, didn't know anything. My friend and I, we do sound baths and meditations together, as you guys know, and we put together this thing. She's incredible. She navigated most of it. She's my better half when it comes to the healing world in that sense. But I did this sound bath, and she did some Reiki, and I saw some really incredible things. And I thought, people have the power to change, no matter what depth you've been to. And then we got done. And we go outside, and one of the officers that was there overseeing it, like kind of watching us and stuff, and wasn't participating. He just watched it. He said, for the 20 years I've worked here, that was the most incredible thing I've ever experienced with these guys. And I thought, well, that's cool. Like, cool. So then we go outside and we get talking. Come to find out, I'm surrounded by murderers, hardcore criminals. And I love what my friend is doing with that corrections facility because it's not normal. It's not what it is. And I love what she's doing. She's actually leaving in a month. Anyways, I go to that because all I could think was, you guys need the I Love You Bro project. You need this foundation because you need to understand that you do not need to be what your past is. You need to understand that we go to communication. In that communication, we both need to be heard and we need to listen. Are you really listening to what? And I feel strongly that you guys are hearing these men. You're hearing the sisters. You're hearing the women talk and hearing what both sides need. And that's power.
Mhm.
It's so much. It's so empowering, and it changes the world. And I love the story of the starfish, and the guy keeps throwing them back in the ocean. And they're like, there's millions of these. You can't make a difference. And he picks up one and he says, made a difference to that one. And that's what you guys are doing one by one with the I Love You Bro project. And I am just honored to even be a small piece of it.
I love that. I do. I'm intrigued because I have been trying to get a sound bath for the project as an activity.
I'd love to do it.
I would love to be able to do that. How was it received by these guys from the prison? I'm very intrigued about how that went.
We've been asked to come back.
That's good.
awesome.
I was with the facilitator or the Randy, my friend that runs it, and she's actually good friends with Jess too. But I was with her and she said, so the guys that were there asked when you're coming back.
Yeah.
And the guys that missed it asked if we could do it again for them.
That's awesome.
Oh, I just get chills. This has all been brought to my life and has changed my life. All of these things. One thing I keep telling people, and I actually told my son and my kids, they're all in college and all these things. And I said, stay open because you never know what's going to come into your life that's going to change it.
Yeah.
You never know whose story is going to change your thoughts and your life and make you feel empowered. And it's the same thing with that. That's why I'm passionate about the I Love You project because there's nothing out there like this. And you guys are moving mountains. And I really hope that men know it's okay to show up. It's okay to participate. You're not less of a man because you went to a meeting. I think I feel that way because I've been surrounded my whole life around with men. And it's like, well, that's not the manly thing to do. Trust me, women want to be vulnerable with you. We want to feel you and understand you. And sometimes we don't, sometimes we do, but we want to connect. And I think relationships could be 1,000 times better. Your relationships with your children can be 1,000 times better if you just communicate. You just do things that you guys are bringing to light and help get those demons out because we all fight them.
Well, and don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
That's one of the biggest things is don't be afraid to try something new. Maybe it isn't for you.
Yeah. At least you tried.
You tried.
Going through my journey, people were like, you need to go do a program. You need to go to AA. I plugged in online to a couple AA things. And I was like, I couldn't, it wasn't the path that I could take. And I'm stubborn. And I was like, I got to do this my way. And if, say, a brother comes into the meeting and he's like, this isn't for me. I joke around, like for my Zumba class, I'm like, come 3 times. If you hate it after that, stop coming. Just show up 3 times.
You gotta give it a
valid try.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. Come to 3 meetings. If it ain't working for you, you're not connecting, then don't come back.
Well,
you're not hurting anything. It's
No.
free.
Well, and the thing is, there's so many meetings now.
Yep.
They're available every night of the week. Oh, try one. Guess what? You didn't find the people there? Go to a different one.
Right.
You didn't find the people of that one? Go to a different one. This week, I had a new guy come. He'd been to the Provo one, had been to the Spanish Fork one, came to ours.
Well, you vibe with the right people, and you'll find your tribe if you're open to it. And I really believe in that. And I think that's one of those things. I love that you guys have so many more going on now because you're giving opportunity, not just like, it's hard from somebody from West Jordan to get out to Provo for a meeting. That's
Right.
hard. But then you got a group in West Jordan that you can go to. And it's one of those things where I completely understand how hard it could be to walk in the first time because I couldn't step into an AA meeting.
Yeah.
Because I envisioned everything that you see on TV. I don't know if you guys have watched Happy Gilmore 2. I've never related to a movie or a man so much in my life. And I was like, damn, he had some really good hiding spots.
Right.
For real. That was the thing. If I could say anything to my boys or my husband or any man in my life, any friend, is if you need something outside of your spouse, your children, your parents, to get around like-minded people, check out I Love You Bro. Because sometimes I can't give my husband what he needs. It might need to come from a brother. Sometimes he can't give me what I need. It might come from a podcast. You never know until you try. So like I said, don't be afraid.
The one thing I love about I Love You Bro is they only have one agenda, and that's love.
I love it.
That's their only agenda, is to spread love and connection and everything that surrounds love. And that's their only agenda there. They're welcoming, happy to see you. They're happy that you're there. And sometimes the hardest thing is just walking through the door.
Right. Right. And maybe that's what drives me because love is hard because one of my biggest problems was I didn't think I deserved to be loved. And I guarantee you there's someone out there that doesn't think they deserve to be loved. And I'm here to tell you, you do. And if the only person that loves you is you, so be it.
Well, it goes back to one of our favorite people, Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
His song Winning Streak.
Yeah.
In that song, he goes, you never walk through that door with a winning streak. Everybody starts at a different spot.
Yep.
But on the same note, because this is not an AA meeting, this is not a CA meeting, this is not a recovery meeting, this is a meeting about men connecting with love.
Mhm.
If you're in a good spot and you feel like you need to share something, you need to connect, you have something to give, maybe this meeting is that for you too.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the thing I don't think some of these guys think about is, hey, I'm doing great. I always encourage them, the weeks you're doing great, you better show up
We need you.
because
Yeah.
those are the weeks that these guys need to see you.
Well, that's the thing is looking at, I've read so many books and I've listened to so many podcasts, sober podcasts. I follow so many sober things that I needed to have because we are what we continually see. You believe it or not, but if you're scrolling Instagram and all I'm seeing is alcohol ads, every movie I've watched on and TV show on Netflix, like I've literally just been like, I am craving a bottle of wine because I'm watching this stupid show. But showing up, if you are doing good, you might be that beacon of hope for the person that's not doing so great. You might be the person that that person needed to hear. Your story, Scott, I needed to hear your story. Hillary, I needed to hear your story. And both of them came into my life at the right time. And that's where you never know. That's the whole being open. But I agree with you, that I really would want, if you're on a high, you're good, you're doing good, and you're pulling out of that depth that you've been trying to get out of, we need you.
Yeah. We
And
need
if
to hear
you're
that stuff.
like, I can barely make it out of bed, but I'm gonna pull myself together and get in my truck and go to that meeting and go meet with the bros because I just need some positive vibes, go.
Yeah. Well, I think that's one of the stigmas a little bit about support groups. I don't need help. I don't need this. That is not what
It's
it
not.
is.
Yeah.
We are there as a group of friends. We call the PG group, we call it getting drinks without the drinks. We are the guys getting together at the bar, but not at the bar.
Right.
And that's what we do.
I think that's what I love about it is, and I love learning more and more because realistically, we all need friends.
Mhm.
I'm going to be first to admit that I'm like now in the position where I'm like literally posting on Facebook, anybody want to go to lunch? Because I need friends. I need connection. I need humans that are not my children and not necessarily my spouse. Like, because I have that connection, but I need connection with other people. And that sometimes is like, that's what I love about this. It's based on love. It's based on, hey, we're just a bunch of guys getting together that aren't trying to go out and get in trouble. We're not doing the things that we may have done back in the day that we're still feeling shame and guilt for. We're just bros getting together and bros that can actually talk and don't have to be hammered or, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I love that you're creating it's just like, it's just a boys club.
It is.
Like,
It's a safe place to have fun, to connect, and just be you. Be
Well,
the
that's-
authentic you.
that's the one thing that I think we lack a ton in this world is being really just being you, being yourself. And I think it's shifting. I see the shift, but we're so afraid of being ourselves. Like you see these different personalities out there and different traits and I'm like, I kind of envy that because I'm not that way, but I want to be that high personality that's super fun and out of create like, and that one comes out sometimes when I'm drinking, but also the demon comes out when I'm drinking too. So I want to be that sober. And I want to be myself and I want to be fun and I have a good time. And I love that you open up that space for these men to do that because they actually are pretty damn cool. They're actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
And sometimes we need to stop taking life so damn seriously.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
love the program.
Well, with that, let's talk about this car show. Like we said, you did the last one in 20 days last year.
So we did.
We showed up. It was a big thing. It was right after we started doing our stuff. We're like, oh, we wish we would have been there on time to be able to talk to people. But hindsight, it was an amazing show that you put together, raised the money, and it went out to all good things that was able to help, open a couple new groups. All that money went to amazing things. So let's talk about this year's car show. What type of vendors are we going to have there? What are you expecting?
I want to make it bigger and better. Honestly, we'll take any vendors. With our salon, I've shifted a little bit of what I've done. So we offer a big variety. So I actually have businesses built within my business. So every one of my renters, you could say, or my booth renters are their own business in Bluffdale. So each one of them are actually going to be contributing to the raffle.
Okay.
They're also going to be offering some fun services, piercings. We might have even mini tattoos. We'll have permanent jewelry. We've got some teeth whitening, some other things that we're going to offer. We haven't quite figured everything out, but that's just our little business. All the other businesses are going to contribute. About Time will be open and we'll be contributing. Like, we all want to contribute to this organization. But like I said, I've been foot trafficking, literally walking around Bluffdale in that area because I want to invite my neighbors and I'd love for them to bring their cars. I want to bring community together. I'm big on community. And with me moving out to Bluffdale, I've kind of been embedded quite a bit already in Bluffdale by starting the business, and also I'm good friends with the mayor, and like, I want her there. I want these people there, but it's all about community. That is what the I Love You Bro program is about. And I'm all about bringing people together. I love to bring people together. Okay. I was raised in Rose Park where we had the biggest diversity of all, and I love humans. And I see humans for more than what they do. I see them for who they are. And I want to bring people together. You got a badass car you're proud of, bring it. You got a badass bike, bring it. But what I love seeing is everybody in a like-minded facility. We've got food trucks coming, got a live DJ coming. We've got a couple of vendors that have already reached out. We also have the vendors in like Master Auto Tech, About Time, Quench It, all of the businesses in our facility. We shut down the parking lot because on Saturdays, all the regular businesses are closed. So I shut down the parking lot. I block it off and pretend like it's mine. And I just want to fill it up. I want people to come, because I know how much work it takes to put a car together, and I wouldn't do it, but come and show it off.
Yeah.
Let's see what you got, because that's your pride and joy, and people love seeing it. And it brings, I walked around a car show, and it's funny because I asked him, I said, can I bring flyers and give them to him? And he was like, yeah. So I ran to go get coffees made, and I ran back and literally gave out 120 flyers for this thing to all the cars, and meeting them and talking about their cars and all these things. It was actually really fun, but it's so funny. What I like to do is sit back and observe. And when you observe a car show, they're all there for one reason, right? Cars. They're all uniquely different. You've got the toddler running around to the 80-year-old proud of his car. You've got the wives, the sisters, the mothers, the guys, the girls. You've got it all. Every race, every ethnicity, every culture, all coming together for what? A car show.
Yeah.
Because cars are cool. So I think it'll be fun. I'm excited. I would love to make it, like I said, bigger and better for the I Love You Bro Foundation. I would love to meet more people in the community. I feel that it could bring a lot together, and just hope everybody will come out.
I think it'll be really good. I have to ask, because if they're not a vendor yet, then I'm going to go harass them. But one of my favorite places to go is one of your neighbors, and that's Jump. Have they come on
Yes.
yet?
So Jump will have a
All
booth.
right.
I went in and talked to them, and they were like, I said, I'm doing it again. They said, all right, they're in. So Jump is in. They're going to have a booth and stuff outside, and they're going to be they are also raffling some free jumps. So that'll be exciting. So we have Gillette Diesel.
Which
I
is a
met.
huge vendor that's close to you.
Didn't know. I just went in
Yeah.
and I was like, here's my flyer.
Anybody who's listened to this, who knows, who has a truck, they know who Gillette Diesel is.
Yeah. So I went in and said, hey, I'm having a car show party. You want to come? And they were like, yeah, let's go. And immediately called me, said they have $600 worth of stuff that they're going to be raffling, and they're going to bring it. So I want it. Like, if you have and I want to support small business. Here's the real business is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Running a business is hard. I don't want to get into it, but the government is not on our side. And I want to support small businesses. So if you have a small business, this is the place. If you have a nonprofit foundation, we're doing a discounted table. We want to know you. We want to get to know you. Adaptive Arena, we're hoping will be there as well. Like, some of these things that can support each other, but it really is, I get it. We're building, we're growing, and why not come together as a community, show off our businesses? There's businesses I walked into that I was like, well, I need you. I found an art gallery. I got a house to decorate. I was like, me and her are besties now.
There you go.
And I ordered my hot tub at Bullfrog too. Anyways, but that's a different story. But I just popped in and all these things, and it's like, you never know who's going to come into your life. Scott, I didn't know you would come into my life and have a story that I could relate to so deeply. And for you to be part of this project and what you're doing and what you stand for and what you're doing to help others on your own with surviving. And it's incredible. And I want to support that. I want to support that. I want to, I want to support these small businesses because we're all out here just trying to survive, right?
Yep.
And surviving's fun, but like, why not thrive?
Yeah.
I want to thrive. I'm done being in survival mode.
Well, let's get there. Let's get all the people there. Let's have an amazing event. Let's have some, we'll turn it into a big
It's just
party.
a party.
Exactly.
Why not have
Well,
a party?
and car shows, I was a part of car shows my entire life. As soon as I could drive, I always wanted a car. I've built many cars myself.
That's awesome.
And car shows, especially for this cause, are super close to my heart because one of my very good friends who painted every one of my cars died by suicide.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And we would go to car shows all the time together. And so to be able to go to a car show now in his honor and say he would have loved this, this is his scene, and know that his spirit is there, hopefully having as much fun as we are. But I know he's there encouraging the other people that are having a bad time that, hey, you know what? Enjoy the show, enjoy the cars, be happy. Life's not that bad. And that's why I really enjoy and am excited about this one, especially is because I love cars. We've been raised, all my girls are always looking forward to them. The boys look forward to them now. But the fact that we can do it for an amazing cause to help other people not get to that situation.
Yeah.
And teach them that they're not alone. They're all loved. It's so worth it.
It goes hand in hand, bros and cars.
Right.
It just fits.
And I want to say thank you for sharing that because some people could let that exact fact trigger them not to go. So thank you for supporting it. Thank you for putting it on your podcast. Thank you for being willing to show up and being willing to feel that pain while you also feel the joy of things you love. So thank you for sharing that. And yeah, girls love cars.
Yeah,
Girls,
absolutely.
actually, women love cars.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, I'm kind of actually shocked. Like, I posted about it and I had all sorts of women like, oh my gosh, I love car shows. And I was like, maybe you just haven't been that girl, but I love trucks. But,
Me too.
but like, I just love it. Like, I love that we can bring people together and I hope that we just make the best of it. And if anything, we're just going to have one hell of a party on September 20th from 10 to 2 out at Sunkist Salon and Spa in Bluffdale. And I hope y'all show up.
Yeah. So again, September 20th, 10 to 2. It's a Saturday. It's 4 hours. If you've got a great car, bring it. If you don't have a car, come check it out. There will also be some amazing vendors there. I know one of our favorite places, the place that has made all of this possible, is Koru Wellness.
Absolutely.
Emily and the team there
And they're on board. They're with us, helping us out with it.
are a huge supporter of the project, and they will be there to answer questions about therapy and ketamine and anything really. And you're going to have lots of other mental health sources there.
Yeah.
And other fun stuff. I mean, Big O Tires will be there. They were there last year. So a lot of fun things happening. I'm excited to be there with everybody. And I'm just excited to see what it's going to do for the project this year.
Absolutely. And if you guys are interested and want to reach out, you can find us on Instagram, sunkist.salon.spa. You can reach out to me, Nicole McGee-Mary, or Mama, MAMA.MERY on Instagram as well. There's flyers up. There's a Facebook event. So I hope you guys will share it with your guys in your group so they can share it. The more we get it out there, the more we can show up there. Cars are only $25 donation to show up, cars and bikes. And I encourage bikes. They're fun. Like, some people have some pretty badass bikes, but also vendor tables are only $100 to kind of come hang out. I've got a couple extra shade tents if you need them. Like, we want to help support everybody, and we want it to be fun at the same time. And if you don't want to sit at a table for 5 hours, I get it. If you want to raffle some stuff off, bring some raffle prizes. We'll take them at the salon, or you can get them to me. Any little bit helps. One of the ways we do the raffle that's a little unique than other raffles is we don't just pull a name and pick a prize. We actually put like a bag or jar in front of each item, so you can actually put your ticket in what you want to win.
Yeah.
Because you, Scott, might not want a tanning lotion. Maybe you do. I don't know. But
You would love one.
yeah.
Promise.
But you may not want something that maybe a child would want or a female would want. And so we want you to go in and be able to put so the prizes will be all personal, like you can pick which ones you want to put all your raffle tickets in. Some of the cool ones that we'll have, we might have a free tattoo. We may end up with tons of, you know, everybody wants a tattoo if you've ever had one. They're addicting. I want another one, but we definitely want to, bring out the best. And if that, like I said, if you don't necessarily want to do a table, but you want to throw in $100 worth of raffle stuff or items or more, we'll take anything you can and we will make the best of it and have the most fun with it. We will be featuring everybody on our pages and shouting everybody out that's participating in this. It's just all about, like I said, supporting community. Let's do this for the I Love You Bro project, because in order for you to grow, you need more funds. You guys, I've talked to Joe in depth about it, and it's another business, but it's a business without financial backing. Like, I run businesses that I have services and stuff that we sell that can help financially back us. This foundation does not have that. And so even just space or your donuts or anything, like there's so many things that you want to bring into this program and make it bigger and better. And the only way to do that is to help you out financially. And this is one of the main ways, and one of the main organizations that I will fully support, because I absolutely love what the I Love You Bro project is doing.
I agree.
We absolutely love everything that you have done. It's so much fun to see you at the workshops and the events, and it's been great. I mean, we got to do the dance stuff together, and that was a blast. So it's just been a great journey so far, and it's just going to get more exciting and more fun.
Yeah.
So again, everybody, on the bottom of the podcast description, we will have all Nicole's information. We will have the links to the car show and any of that. If you guys have questions about how to participate or any other questions, you can reach out directly to Nicole. You can reach out to us here on the show. You can reach out to Joe through the website and his email. All ways to contact, find out how you can help with the project. Again, it is the I Love You Bro project. It is for every single man, no matter your age, your social status, your job, your relationship status, whatever. Every single person is welcome. We want you there. If you're winning, if you're losing, if you're just coasting and just okay, we want you there, because somebody else might need you in the group, or you might not realize what you need from another person in the group. So again, thank you, Nicole, for everything you have done so far for the project. Absolutely. I know having you part of it is going to help thrust us into the next phase, because you have so much energy and so much love. And so I just want to say thank you for everything you've done. It was great to have you here to talk about it, to talk about a little your story.
I'm in good company.
So before we go, we always throw it out. You've heard our stories. You know us a little bit, but is there anything that you still want to know? Any question that you have for us that maybe has been on your mind you want to ask before we go?
I don't even know. It's funny because I've observed you guys from afar.
That scares me.
Not in a bad way. I admire couples that are striving. Like I said, I've been married for 25 years, and I could jokingly say almost divorced 2 or 3 times, and it is what it is. Everybody has a unique relationship, and we all have to find what works for us. And it was interesting. I heard your story first, and then I've reached out to you about some things, and you told me how she has supported you through that. And I was actually thinking, after I listened to your podcast, I thought, because you were sober before you met. You were 6 months sober when you guys met, right?
Correct.
And you knew that's the 13th.
Yeah,
right.
We laugh about it all the time.
But
13 stepped him.
there's other things that come about in life, and other things that have happened in your life. And was that, I want to know, from your perspective, supporting him, struggling with other things,
Mhm.
keeping your head on your shoulders, keeping your relationship together. Like, what gives you the strength and the drive to continue to do that? Because relationships nowadays are hard. They're really, and they put it, they say it's 50-50. No, it's not. It's 100, and sometimes your 100% is only 30, like whatever. And I want to know, like, kind of what's your secret to your relationship, that you being through what I know you guys have been through, things you guys have shared publicly, like how do you support this program and him and all the things with having your background of addiction and other things? Because I know, like, I'll be honest, if my husband struggled with alcohol, I'd be down.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I'd have the strength. And not that he's struggling with alcohol or anything, but like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody has an addiction,
Oh, yeah.
and you can deny it all you want, but put your phone down for a day and see what happens. Everybody has an addiction, and we all have to learn to support it. But I was thinking about that, and I was like, there's things that you've seen and witnessed and felt in not just your relationship, but probably around you. Like, what keeps you 11 years sober? Because I'm only 3. And that you had said in your podcast, at 2 years, it gets easier. At 2 years, I freaked out.
Yeah.
Do you know I freaked out? Because I was angry, so angry. Why the hell is this my story?
Mm.
Why the hell? I have screamed from the mountaintops of why the hell is this part of my story?
Mm-hmm.
I was bigger and stronger than this. And I fell down that same hole that I watched my father fall down, that people warned me about. And here you are, 11 years sober. I am honored and so, like, just empowered by you. So I'd love to know.
Thank you. Honestly, my 10th year was probably my hardest.
Really?
Yeah. Granted, there were many times that I felt like a fraud.
It's your syndrome. Yeah, I get that
There
one.
was many times that I felt like I didn't deserve the life that I had. There were many times that I wondered if I was going to make it through it.
Yeah.
But I had to trust that my higher power was watching over me, and I had to trust in them, and I had to know that I was going to be okay no matter what. And yes, it was hard watching Scott go through those struggles, but from my own struggles, it helped me to help him through it. I'd been through it.
You almost love him on a different level
Yeah.
because
And
you know that
I couldn't
part,
judge him
right?
for it.
Oh,
I'd been
yeah.
through it.
Yeah.
So
But that's what I was thinking.
I couldn't up and leave him because he had his own struggles. I had to support him through it. Granted, I did have my boundaries. I did.
And you should, as you should.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And he was willing to help himself as well. If he wasn't willing to help himself, then those boundaries would have had to come into action.
Right.
But he's always constantly trying to better himself. And we all slip and fall. And I've slipped and fallen plenty of times that he's had to pick me up through it as well. And that's just what a relationship is helping to strive to push that person to always better themselves and to support them through those struggles. I've watched my parents who have been married for
It's over 40.
45. I know they're getting close to a possible 50. Let's see. It's past 45. Yeah, I know they're getting close to almost 50. And there were plenty of times that they probably should have gotten divorced, but they stuck it out. And they're some of my biggest inspirations, but I know that no relationship is perfect.
Oh no, nobody knows what happens behind closed doors. You see it every day, and it's like I admire the work that you guys put into your relationship. Just know that it doesn't go unnoticed because you give people hope. You give me hope. And I guess I bring that out because there's like being through what I've been through and knowing or feeling that I didn't deserve to be loved, and that my husband deserved way better than what he got and what he's put up with and what he's in my children, and feeling so bad that there were days I felt like they were better off without me. I would say, I'm going to eat, pray, love my way out of here. I just wanted to run away because I felt like it was just creating too much damage. And I thank God every day that they didn't give up on me, and they loved me regardless. And I love hearing your story because I know it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I feel strongly is that you guys communicate, right?
We do.
And sometimes those conversations suck and they're hard. And if I could impress on and I've had these conversations with my boys, they're 20 and 18. And I just actually had a conversation with my son, and I said, I just don't want you to ever be afraid to tell me something And when things happen, my kids come to me and tell me because they know that I will not judge them. And if I get angry as a mother, it's going to be short-sighted. It's going to be short because we're going to figure it out. And I think that's the love that we need to have for each other is, sometimes we just need to shut up and listen. And so I just really admire you two. I'm very honored to be here. I am grateful for the I Love You Bro project for bringing us together. I look forward to the many other things we are doing. I would absolutely love to put together an event for the I Love You Bro group. Minnie and I have been working on some projects. I'm kind of under the radar because I'm waiting for the house because that's where some of the magic will happen. And just thank you. Not just thank you for this podcast, but thank you for being you. Thank you for doing this podcast and giving people things to listen to because these topics are hard and nobody wants to talk about them. A lot of people don't want to talk about their addiction. They don't want to talk about their shame, guilt, or their embarrassments. And, you actually get people talking. We all kind of have similar stories. We've all fallen down the stairs drunk before, so just thank you. Thank you. And thank you for letting me do this. And I really hope to see y'all and everybody, the whole I Love You Bro crew out there, if they're families. And, if anything, let's just party.
It'll be fun.
Let's have a good time.
Absolutely. Well, everybody, again, we couldn't be here without you guys tuning in today. We couldn't be here without your support, your love. We are so grateful every time that you turn on one of these episodes and listen. We are even more grateful every time you take one of these episodes and share it with somebody that you love or somebody you know that needs to hear it, or to somebody that needs something different to listen to than Murder Podcast. But check out the bottom of the podcast description. All the information about the I Love You Bro project is there. All the information about the upcoming car show is there. Nicole posts on her page all the time as well. The information is out there. The I Love You Bro project is for every single guy out there. As we've said before, we want to see you. We love you. And we can't wait to meet you at the next group. So thank you for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next time.